And what does that mean? What does that mean for me? How do I define myself now? I think especially in our culture. Of course, there's the loss of a pet. We grieve those losses as well. Health and mobility. I wanted to mention that one too, because when our health suddenly changes, and it's not as good, or we can't get around as well, or we need support from other people, suddenly we have those mobility or health losses. And that is really, we can grieve that too. Grieve our bodies not being as mobile or strong or able as they used to be. There can be a grief there as well. Sometimes we grieve our faith. I know I had some dark nights of the soul and I was grieving my faith. Sometimes we feel like we're not living our dreams or our goals and the expectations maybe that we've held on to for ourselves. And so there's some grief maybe around that of not having accomplished your goals and dreams. And then again, for me, there could be the empty nest syndrome. It's even listed in this grief handbook. Um, there you go. That's when you know it's a real grief, right? No. No, also like just empty nest syndrome and moving into a whole new phase of life. Again, bittersweet, bittersweet. And it just this reminder too that tears are so good. Tears are so good. They're so healing. So let yourself cry, let yourself get it out. I always say tears are the washing of the heart. It's really the heart letting sadness be released and that those tears, just washing through. And now science actually knows as well that when we cry, our stress hormones are in our tears. So literally our tears are taking those stress hormones, which are detrimental to our health, and they're taking it outside of our body. So there's even great, physical health reasons as well as, the mental emotional part of how powerfully helpful tears and crying are. So want to encourage that as well. Whatever you Whenever you go through anything, or if you're currently going through something. And I also want to underline this little point. And I read it, I don't know if it was in these cards I'm going to share with you or the book, but really this idea that nobody knows how you feel. So somebody may have also lost a spouse, and they may say to you, "Oh, I know just how you feel," but they don't because each person is different and individual. And so I'm going to encourage all of us not to say that to someone, even if you've also had a pet that died or a loved one that died, or you also retired or whatever it is. Let's try to stay away from saying, "Oh, I know how you feel," because really the only one who knows how you feel is you. You're the only one who knows how you feel. So I just want to reiterate that too, and to remind all of us to try to stay away from saying that and putting that on somebody. Because again, we know for our own selves when we're going through it, no, you don't know. No one knows how I'm feeling or what I'm going through. So just that reminder as well. So unity.org, you can go on their website too. They've got lots of great products. So this one, it comes in this cute little pouch too, pretty pouch. And it's a time to grieve, words to light your way. They're little affirmation, inspiration type cards with just little messages on them. So I thought I'd just share a couple with you this afternoon and my thoughts on them. So the first one says, I know past grief can linger. That means I may be grieving old and new losses as well. I let them all come to the surface to be healed. So part of that, coming to the surface to be healed, grief strikes us at different times in different ways. So, it could be that you're suddenly feeling, oh, okay, I feel strong again and good again, and I can get out into the world. And then all of a sudden, just something triggers and hits you, and you're in that grief and tears again. And that's okay. And that's okay. But here's what's interesting. I know grief can linger. I remember when my parents were moving, and it was our family home for like 50 years. They had lived there. We had all lived there for 30 years. They had lived there for 30 years, but it had been my grandmother's home before that. My dad moved there when he was in junior high, middle school. And, I didn't cry during that moving process. But it was a couple months later that our neighbors, a couple doors down, and we knew them, but we didn't know them that well. And they told me that they were moving, and I cried. And I remember thinking, what is this all about? And I realized I was actually crying about my parents moving and about us moving, really as a family out of that house. So you never know, what grief you may be grieving over or how long it may linger. And again, it's all okay. You can just let it all come to the surface and heal. Journal about it, cry about it, see a therapist also about it to get support, or a really good friend or a minister. Yeah. Okay, the next card says, it will take time to get over my sadness. I will not let anyone dictate how long that should be. I remember a friend of mine, this is a few years ago. Our boys actually were in school together, but not this time, because he'd gone to a different middle school. So they're both graduating from 8th grade, but her husband died just a month before that graduation. But I remember her saying to me when I checked in with her, everyone says I should just be over it by now. Like, okay, it's been a couple weeks or it's been a month. Now you just need to get back into life again. And I said to her, that is not true. You know what? We all get to grieve as long as we grieve. No one gets to dictate how long that should be. Now, I will say that if you're feeling like you can't, after a couple months, 2-3 months, if you're feeling like you just can't do your normal work and day to day, then definitely talk to, again, a therapist or a doctor, I would say, just to get that extra support too, just to check in and make sure you don't need something else, extra support in some area. But definitely your sadness, no one gets to dictate how long it will be. Okay, the next one is, now more than ever, I accept the love and support offered by family and friends. I like that one, everyone. I think that's a good one for all the time, but let me read it again. Now more than ever, I accept the love and support offered by family and friends. I just had someone recently who shared with me, they're having mobility issues and it being really hard to accept people bringing meals or food or doing the grocery shopping or spending the extra to get the groceries delivered. Again, we have to just be okay with getting that support when we're going through these challenging times in life. So, I say yes, right? Because really that's our prosperity mindset as well. We allow someone else to express their prosperity by helping us or buying us groceries or food, delivering it to us. And so then we can receive their prosperity and their gift of kindness as well. So it's a two-way street, actually, with that one. Okay, just a couple more. One says, I cherish the beauty and joy of our relationship. It is not ended, it lives in my heart. So again, that's more if a pet, a loved one, a friend has died. Yeah, just knowing that beauty and joy of the relationship, the memories, they live on in our hearts always. And not quite the same as being able to maybe hug or pet a pet, but just knowing that we can go into our heart and feel that love and that gratitude for that person being in our life. Okay, how about this one? By staying present to feelings in this moment, I recognize my loss and honor my grief. Yeah, and I think that's really what it's about. It's about honoring the grieving process and being okay with it. Just, right now, this is what I'm doing. And again, it can be so many different areas in our life. And it's again, whenever you feel like you've been brokenhearted. So if you feel like you have a broken heart, you're feeling brokenhearted, then you're going through grief of one kind or another. And it could be old, it could be new, there could be something that you feel like you've healed, and suddenly you see a movie or a commercial, or again, a neighbor moves, and suddenly it's, kind of been brought up for you to heal and to do more of that healing. So just honoring your own loss and grief. Yeah, staying present to the moment, not trying to push it down and shove it down. Because again, everything that comes up is to heal and then to clean out and create new space, to create new energy inside. Okay, I'm going to do one more. It says there is a time to grieve, a time to heal, and a time to move forward. I take all the time I need. Again, not putting limitations on it or really a timeline on it, but just to say, I take all the time I need to do what I need. I said that was the last one. I said the last two were the last one. Okay, really, because now I'm seeing the time. This is the last one. Even though the world goes on around me, I take the time I need to process what is happening. Okay, that one struck me because that was like my grandmother. When my grandmother died, who was extremely close to, she kind of helped raise me when I was a child and my parents were working. And so I was very, very close to her. And so when she died, I remember coming back from her apartment to my aunt's house. We were driving, making that drive, and I was looking around. everyone was just going about their own business. They were coming home from school and work, and I thought, oh my gosh, my like world has just been rocked. Like one of the most important people in my life has just left this earth. And how can everyone just keep going about their business? So that reminder that, um, yeah, the life might, world might keep going, but you get to pause. You get to take a pause and do what you need to do for your healing work and your healing journey in whatever area your grief is. So again, I recommend if you are, just to maybe even have on hand for a friend or yourself. Again, it's called A Time to Grieve, Words to Let Your Way from Unity, unity.org. And again, the Grief Recovery book, highly recommend it. So that's my time today. Again, just the last little bit here is that grief isn't something to get through, but to find space inside of you for gratitude for that person or that situation, that experience, and to find gratitude really for your life. So always returning to gratitude. I know that's what's gotten me through my darkest days, is going back to gratitude and the love in my heart for those around me, for the experiences that I've had, and for everything that's still so wonderful in my life. We can always find the good. In fact, we were just talking about that with the pandemic, with family and stuff here, and we're just talking about these little things that were really, it turns out now, we're blessings, having the boys and that extra time with them, with us during that time. I think Julian was talking about, how there was no one at Disneyland and he lived 10 minutes from Disneyland, so he could get into Disneyland easier and the lines were shorter. Whatever little gifts and positivity we need to grab onto, that's what we do. So again, always, going back to honoring the feelings and looking for the gratitude. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will go back and read your comments. I really appreciate it. Again, if this isn't for you, maybe it's for a friend, a neighbor, a relative. And please consider giving to Unity of the Oaks. We do have a giving page on our website. There is text to give. That information is in the information in this video. And if you enjoyed today's Inspiration Wednesday, we have an entire YouTube channel. So go to Unity of the Oaks YouTube channel, check out our meditations, our messages, our music, our Sunday services. It's all there. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'm honoring your inner growth and transformation and your healing. Blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.